If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here's the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach, Christine McIver.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so stoked about this show because you know what? It's all about getting happy. Happy and business, my two of my favorite things I love to put together. So thank you, everyone. I am your host, Christine McIver, and today we are talking about happy entrepreneur, prosperous business. So if you know me, you know I love to do all things business. And lately, that's what's really been popping with my radio shows. In fact, last week, the radio show was, are you, quote unquote, playing business or creating a business? Now, if you didn't hear that show, I want you to know that I really brought it to the table. I mean, some people would say that I was being a bit of a dominatrix because I really, really called you forward, as in really stepping in and looking at what you are creating. So before we get into the show, what I would like to tell you about is a little bit about myself. I am a possibilities coach. And what that means is I love to look at what is possible with everything that we desire to create in the world. And what I do know is that if you have got it in your heart, in your gut, in your knowing, then it's possible. If it's come to you, it's possible. If there's an idea that's dropped in, it's absolutely possible. And if you have a yearning desire, I know that it is possible. I work with individuals one-on-one, whether it's with something personal in their life, whether it has to do with self-confidence or looking at their career, what they want to create in their next steps. Perhaps it's in relationships, going into relationships, attracting relationships, or changing the dynamics of a relationship, or even concluding a relationship, whether that's a love interest or a business relationship, a family relationship, whatever that is. And then I love working with individuals regarding business. All things business make me joyful, very, very joyful. And as well as inviting people in to bring their voice to the world. So there's a lot of things I love to create. I work with people as well with energy work, and I facilitate different classes to really invite them into more and more consciousness in the world. So as you can see, I love to create because I know that so many things are possible. And that when I am in that energy of creation, that turns me on and it lights me up. And it starts to contribute in the world in a way that I always knew was possible, but had no idea how it was going to be possible. And that's the energy of what I bring to you when you're working with me. And that's what we're going to be talking about today in the radio show. So if you've never listened to me before, I really invite you to come play with us in the chat room and call in to participate. You just go to the InspiredChoicesNetwork.com, click on the menu bar, and come on into the chat room. If you would like to check out some of my other radio shows, you can definitely do that here on the Inspired Choices Network, and you can definitely follow this link to see what else is possible and see what else it is that I created. So just a couple of things that are coming up that I definitely want to bring your attention to. Tomorrow, a very dear colleague of mine, Rhonda Burns, and we are both the Bodacious Alchemy. We're known as the Bodacious Alchemy. And tomorrow, which will be December the 20th, we are creating something that is so fun. And if you're listening to this after the fact, I'm sorry that you've missed it, but you can always check in with us to see if there's something else that we created. So Bodacious Alchemy is creating an absolutely wonderful event called Bon Voyage 2017, celebrating what was to seduce 2018 and beyond. So what we know, and what I would love to invite everyone that's listening into, is we know that whether it's a relationship with another human being, or it's a relationship to the experiences of what you created, when you are willing to look at what you created, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and have honor and regard for that, and really send that off with thanks and gratitude, your next year, your next relationship, your next creation can grow and expand and become so much more amazing from that. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's a free 3-hour call. So if you or you know people that would love to come and join us, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Bodacious Alchemy. You don't want to miss that. Coming up in January, I'm going to have another amazing Access Conscious Foundation class. And during that class, we are going to be talking about all things possible and all things that will change what's not working in your life to create even greater. The Access Consciousness is a modality that really does invite you into knowing what you know. And it's something that I started to bring into my life about 5 years ago, and it's certainly been a wonderful contribution. So we're going to be doing that January the 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st, I believe. You can catch all of that on my website, or you can go to accessconsciousness.com/Christine McIver. So today we are talking about happy entrepreneur, prosperous business. As I said in the post of this, I'm following up on last week's show of people often playing business. And, you know, if you're playing business, are you also playing happy? Entrepreneurs often believe that it is the business is prosperous, then they'll finally be happy. So, truth. How many of you believe that? Right? Once the business is happy, once the business is prosperous, then I can finally be happy. Then I can finally breathe. And honestly, it's taken me a while. I've kind of banged my head against the wall many, many times, but nothing could be further from the truth. It truly is giant time for all of us to get the message here. It's truly time for all of us to get that when you're happy, whether you're in your own business or you're working in someone else's business, when you are happy, that's when the creativity can flow. That's when the business can become prosperous. And honestly, when you're happy, how many people around you are you inviting into more and more happiness? Are you willing? Are you willing to be the happiness that invites others to choose greater? Are you willing for people to kind of go, why is she so happy? Oh, my God. I wonder how many people say that about me. So we are going to be pushing your buttons. We are going to be inviting you into a whole new reality of thriving with your business. And you know what? It's so time. Don't you agree? Isn't it time? And what a wonderful time of year. December, you know, we hear a lot of people be grumpy. I live in Canada where, you know, snow is definitely flying, the temperatures are definitely dropping, and the anger rises often. And we look at December as a grumpy month, you know, and we, you know, I got to do all this baking, or the family's coming, or I have to travel. It's costing me so much money for Christmas. And, oh, my gosh, I didn't do well in my business, or things have been shitty this past year. I don't even want to think about it. Is it over yet? Is it over yet? Is it over yet? How many people, poor December. Okay, this is my crazy mind. Poor December. December always gets shit on. I think that so often it's not even funny. And I know that when you are truly desiring to create greater, and you can see the joy and the pleasure and the possibilities and the what's truly available in every moment. It doesn't matter what day of the year it is, what month it is, what country you are in. When you are in the energy of knowing that you can choose and choose beyond any limitation that you've ever created before, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. You are like this steady rock. You're like this absolutely, bendable tree that it doesn't matter what's happening. You bend, but you never break. Your roots are strong, and your knowing permeates like the light that comes out of a lighthouse. Are you willing to be that? Are you willing to choose into that? And you know what? If that's not the way it's been for you before these 10 seconds, who cares? It doesn't matter. You get to choose again. You always, always get to choose again, which is something that, it took me a very, very long time to get, that if I wasn't happy before, and if things weren't going the way that they should go, then, they likely wouldn't ever. And that's a crock. And if something wasn't working yesterday, well, then it's likely not going to work tomorrow. That too is a crock. How many of you are operating from this conclusion of, I wasn't happy, or my gosh, here this is happening again, so therefore, ... And you just throw all your happiness down the tube, and you give up. How many of you have been giving up on your happiness because things haven't been, quote unquote, working out? Truthfully, would you give up on someone you loved if things weren't working out exactly the way you thought it should be with them? Lots of people walk away from relationships because they're not working out the way they want them. Are you walking away from you and the happiness you could be creating? Are you walking away from your business? Oh, maybe you still have the sign outside, and maybe you still have your website up, and maybe you're still, selling products or saying you're selling products or services, but you're energetically, emotionally walking away from your business. What is that creating when you're not really solidly in it? What is it creating when you really don't have your businesses back? Do you really expect that your business is going to give to you when you're just kind of half-assing it? Seriously. If somebody was half-assing it with you, would you stick around? If somebody was half-assing the way that they treat you, the way that they show up for you, the way that they, value you, would you stick around? Hell no. Most people would book it in a matter of seconds, right? What if you are doing that with your business? Have you even been willing to be vulnerable enough to ask that question about your business? Have you been willing to look at it? And this is not in the least about making you wrong. But if we don't get clear with what we're doing, we can't change it, right? If you don't know that you're hurting somebody with your words, you may not be able to actually change it because you just don't get that what you're saying bothers them. I remember one time saying to somebody, I don't know if you realize, but when you say it that way, when you say those words that way, it really upsets me a lot. It hurts me. I don't think your intention is to hurt me, but when you say it that way, it does. And there was no making them wrong. There was no, having to blame them for the way that we were feeling, but it was to bring their attention to it. So what haven't you been willing to bring your attention to with your vulnerability, with your business, with what you're choosing and creating, that if you did, could actually put you back into the driver's seat of changing it all? Yeah. Interesting. So Faith in your chat room says, all of the places where you were giving yes answers, I was saying no. And everywhere you were saying no, I was saying yes. Interesting. That's so cool. And now you're in it. Now you can go from that space, Faith. You can be asking some more questions. So we're going to go to our first break of the show. And when we get back, we're going to be talking about more of what you can create and what you can have in your life and in your business, and how you do that from the space of you being happy first, okay? So you are listening to the Inspired Choices radio show here on the Inspired Choices Network with myself, Christine McIver, and remember today's topic, Happy Entrepreneur, Prosperous Business. Stick around, everyone. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page, Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. And whether you are listening live or you're listening in the replay, I'm so grateful that you're here. And I would love to get your feedback. I would love to hear what's working for you, what's not working for you, any questions that you have about any of the content that I'm sharing regarding this. So you can contact me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, and you can certainly get all the information through this show link. Now,
before we went for the break, in the first segment, we were talking about your relationship basically to your business and what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're creating that's creating perhaps the unhappiness or the lack of prosperity in your business. So, this segment, I'd like to talk about why it's so important for you to be happy. What it is that you create in your happiness in your business. And, you know, it seems pretty easy and logical that, yeah, you be happy and the business will grow. And people usually can stay on that for about, 3 or 4 hours, not even 3 or 4 days, most people. Because we're always looking to the bottom line. We're always looking to see where we're at. We're always looking at the scoreboard, right? So how many of you are looking at the scoreboard of your business to decide each day whether you're going to get out of bed, whether you're going to be happy, whether you're going to take that next step forward, or whether you're going to actually be in communion with your business? So have you ever heard this saying, when mama's happy, everybody's happy? Well, when the entrepreneur is happy, the business is happy. It's exactly the same way. Now, you may not be happy with your business, and I get that. There's lots of times that I was not happy with my business. There was lots of times where I was really frustrated, and, you know, crazy things can go through our heads at that time around, you know, what we're concluding about the business. And, you know, sometimes it's like, even like, why is my business not cooperating, or what's happening, or I can't understand any of this, and why does this keep happening, right? We ask some really shitty questions. But when you are in the space of happiness, when you are you're vibrating, and we know everything is energy, every single solitary thing is energy. Science has proven that. So that's no longer up for debate. Everything is energy. When you are in the energy of happiness, you yourself begin to draw into you more things that are vibrating in that space. Would you all agree with that? Okay. So I'm going to assume yes, because I can't hear anybody. Okay, one person in the chat room says yes. Woohoo! All right, cool. So two. We got two. Do we have three? So when you are in that space of happiness and you're attracting in more things that are happy, are they going to, we got three. Are they going to begin to multiply in happiness, or are they going to begin to multiply in whatever you deem crap, right? What you put out to the world expands because you keep matching it. We are the magnets of our reality. So when you are in that space of happy, all right, you start to magnify to you, draw to you things that are on that same level of happiness. It's the law of the universe. It's not something I'm just making up. Now, does that mean, I can hear people say, well, okay, Christine, so my business, I'm not getting any clients. My business isn't making money. Like, what's going on? I've been trying all this, and it's not happening. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to say to you. First of all, if you're in that space about your business, I'd like you to step away from pushing that energy at your business, because you're not going to get happy when you're in that space. What could you do every day to start to turn up your happiness? What could you choose? What could you choose for your body? What could you choose for your being? What could you choose to do in your home? What could you choose? Who could you choose to speak to? What could you watch? What could you listen to? Where could you go? What could you connect with that will bring you happiness? And I'm not talking about, hours and hours of, exploding joy. I'm talking about one thing. What could you do right now? Like, what's one thing that your mouth loves to enjoy first thing in the morning? What's one thing? And even if that thing is sex, would you be willing to give your body that one thing first thing in the morning? You imagine when you start out reaching each day for the things that bring you happiness and joy, even just to your mouth, how that will begin to change and turn up your happiness. It's just a step. Now let's move to what feels great on your skin. What feels great on your skin? What fabrics does your skin light up around? Would you be willing to reach for that as well? So we've got taste, and now we've got that sense on our skin, the touch. Now, what do you love to smell? Now, I'll tell you something. My body no longer desires to drink coffee, but boy, do we love to smell coffee. So that's one thing that I could do. I could actually make coffee in the morning. Maybe just 1 cup, so I'm not throwing away a lot. But smell that. Or do you like to burn some incense? Is there an incense that you like? Then, now we've got the smell. What about your hearing? What would you love to hear in the morning? I know that I love to hear water. So whether you're living beside water or not, what if you got a little water display that you could hear the sound of water? It contributes so much. Or perhaps you could put on some music that you like. What would turn you up? What would light you up? Do you guys get where I'm going here? How do you like to begin your day? What brings you happiness? Then start to turn it up more and more and more. And start to reach for and slowly change your level of happiness to what it is that will create more joy and more happiness in your life. As you begin to move up that scale towards being a happier being, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to change the energy around your connection and your communion with your business. And you're going to change the connection and communion with your possible clients and customers. Nobody is interested in being connected to anyone in business or to a business that is pushy, that is demanding, that all they do is constantly tell us about, here I'm selling this, here I'm selling that, here I'm selling that. What are you actually contributing in the world? Here is a question that I'm playing with that my wonderful colleague Megan Silito provided, and I'm sharing with other people. It's a fabulous question to ask every morning. Who can I contribute to today that will gladly pay me money right away? Now, when you ask that question, doesn't that give you that feeling of excitement and possibility? Does that start to turn up your happiness? As you begin to ask that, don't go to your business, don't go to the computer, don't go to your list and going, okay, like who can I contribute to? It's not the energy like that. It's really the energy of the possibilities, and you put it out there. And the very cool thing is that I've been doing this over the past, I would say, for sure the past 4 to 6 weeks. And it has started to bring people to me that I can contribute to that are happily paying me money. I'm actually not having to go knock on their door, as it were. Now, am I still being present? Am I still promoting? Am I still very active in my business creations? Yes. But that question has definitely begun to change what's being created. And the other big thing, and we're going to get into this more after the next break, is my happiness and how that my happiness has become such a major target in my world that nothing that's going on in my day-to-day is going to derail me. I may take it, I may trip, I may take a little stumble, but it's not going to derail me off of my happiness, because I know that when I am in my happiness, all things start coming to me that are true for me. So when you're in your happiness, all things that are true for you start to actualize within you. So when we get back from the break, we're going to talk more about that. So stick around, everyone. You are listening to the Inspired Choices radio show here on the Inspired Choices Network. Well, we're talking today about happy entrepreneur, prosperous business. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The pleasure of business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure o' Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736 or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I am very, very grateful that you've joined us. So before we get back into the show, I just want to remind you about some really cool things that are being created. Right now, I have 3 big specials on. These are my celebration for my anniversary of my business, and I'm loving what's being created, so I'm continuing to offer them, but they're going to be closing very, very soon. So the first offer is a business examination consultation. This is a one-on-one where we're going to connect for 1 hour and we're going to dive in deep about what's going on in your business. That is regular $250. You're going to get that at 70% off. It's only $77 Canadian. Hello. Fabulous, fabulous deal. The second one is the pleasure of business. You heard about that class, 24 weeks. You can get all of the video, audio recordings from all of those weeks, as well as the notes, which are phenomenal notes. Those are 24 weeks. That's valued at $3,600. You can get all of that for only $777 right now. And that's not going to be staying on for very long. The third one and the final one is the Business Synergy Sweep, where we jump in and I work with you and your business. I do a clean sweep. We look at everything from all of your social media connections, your website, what's working, what's not working. We do a strategic analysis. We work on the targets. We create now and definitely going into 2018. That is regular $3,000. You can get that for half price right now for only $1,500 for the first 10 people that choose it. So 5 have chosen it. There's only 5 spots left, so you better get in touch with me very, very soon if you're interested in that or any of the of the specials. So you can contact me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca, or of course on all the social media platforms, Inspired Choices Inc. Or Christine McIver. So before we went to the commercial break, we were talking about happiness and how the happiness that you are being is creating the prosperity with your business. So when you are in that space of prosperity, when you're in the space, of happiness, what starts to come through is the clarity of who you truly be. So what I want you to imagine like there's all this gunk, right? There's all this heavy crap within you. You're sad, you're frustrated, you're angry, you're resentful, whatever is going on. When you are in that space, how much clarity do you actually get in what is required to take you to the next step? Pretty tough, isn't it? Right? When you are in that space of heaviness, you go in, what we naturally do is we go into conclusions of why it's happening, or we just go into the wrongness of us. And we actually don't step into the clarity of who we truly be and what, honestly, we're here to contribute and what we're here to create. Because, guys, it's no surprise you are here in the world. To be in this time and space in the world is phenomenal. And we are stepping into creating more and more than ever before, which is absolutely one of the most delicious things to be doing in this world. You came here to contribute. You came here to create. But when you're in your muck, you can't get clarity, right? Does that make sense? So when you are in your happiness, you start to rise above the clouds. You start to rise above the shit. The sun comes out. Things are clear. And you can get this sense and knowing of what's really true for you like you've never been before. So do whatever it takes to get happy, because when you get happy, you start to get the clarity of what's true for you. You start to get the clarity of what can contribute to you, okay? I did one of our business calls today, and this is exactly what we were talking about, is really stepping into what other opportunities are out there. When you get that clarity, you can see these opportunities and you can really check in on, hey, would that be fun? Now, don't make it significant, a new opportunity, but when you make it fun, hey, if that's going to be fun, I'll do it for 10 seconds. I'll do it for 10 minutes. I'll do it for 10 weeks. Right? And then you see what else is truly possible. When Carol, my dear friend and colleague, Carol Glover, and I began producing on the radio, we had no clue, absolutely no clue what that was going to look like. We were just like, okay, well, let's try it out. Sounds like it might be fun. I don't know. You want to go? You want to go? Okay, let's go. And that's how we really stepped into producing on the radio. And today, 4 years, we are going to be celebrating producing 4 years coming up in January of 2018. And the fact that we stepped into it with no significance, with no meaning, with no, let me see the results of what this is going to create before I actually see if it's worth my time energy. We seriously love now what we are creating. It began to contribute to us because we allowed it to blossom. We allowed it to bloom. And we stayed in our lane of being happy. How many of you are not staying in your lane? You're coming back to it occasionally, kind of back and forth. If that was a graph, if you actually drew out your happiness on a graph, would that graph actually match the prosperity of your business? Oh my God. Yeah. As Rhonda says, weaving like a drunk driver. Exactly. You know what? And Rhonda says, yeah, in her opinion, happiness leads to everything. It's true. It really, really is true. Happiness is the key, because happiness is the whisper. Happiness is the lover that comes in and says, this is what we desire. Choose this, because this is the thing that's going to give you more of what you've been talking about. Happiness does not have to scream at you. Happiness can make you giggle. Happiness can be something that just gives you a few minutes of laughter and a few minutes of joy. And your happiness doesn't have to be created with anybody else or enjoyed or even known by anybody else. But the more you're choosing that happiness, the more you're going to get more and more of your clarity. And you know what, guys? As you step into this, if this is brand new to you, be gentle, be kind with yourself. So you might be happy for 10 minutes and then you're angry the rest of the day. Okay. Well, you were angry all day yesterday, so that's a win, right? And so maybe tomorrow you can double that. Maybe you can even triple that. You could have like an hour in total of happiness. Like, wow. And as you start to get on this happiness trail, you're like, you know what? It's true. This being happy is actually creating something different in my world. And then that's when you step in now. That's when you start to dance with your business in a way that is so different that your business is like, thank God she's happy now, because working with that grouch was no fun at all. And that's when your business now, it starts to match the energy, because you see, your business doesn't have a point of view around what's good or what's bad. Your business just is in creation mode. You're not in creation mode if you're not in happy. Truth. So when you are in happiness, you're going to be in that creation energy. You're going to match the energy of your business, and that's when the music begins. That's when the dance begins. That's when you and your business can begin to dance together in truly what can be created. I'm telling you, I'm a testament to this. I'm absolutely, since I created my business, since I started my business 9 years ago, as I continued and I can see where I was in happiness, and then I can see where I started to come out of happiness and how it impacted my business. This is not about you being happy with your business. This is about you, the entrepreneur, choosing happiness, seeing the world in a different light, creating your world in a different light. And that's when the prosperity begins to come in, because people are looking for the energy of what will create happiness in their world. This does not mean anything different for any business. I can guarantee you. It doesn't mean anything different if you were, it's exactly the same if you walk into a grocery store, if you walk into a gymnasium, if you walk into a church, if you walk into a bank. It all comes down to the happiness. Because you know what, guys? FYI, we all have way more choice as customers and clients out there. We got way more choice. But what customers and clients are looking for is what turns them on and lights them up. Okay? I just recently started to go to a gym. And I've been doing this pretty consistently for the last month and really enjoying it. But there's one thing that I'm not enjoying, that doesn't make me happy, is when I walk into that gymnasium and when I walk out of that gymnasium is one person that's working there. And guess what? She is not happy. She is actually miserable. She is actually standing there with the scowl on her face every single freaking time. And I'm like, seriously? This chick has either got to get a checkup from the neck up or she needs to frickin' leave, because she is impacting my joy. And no, I'm not having any of it. I'm not having any of it. I am changing my world. Now, as my mama would say, kill 'em with kindness. And mama, I tried that. Didn't seem to work. Worked for about 3 seconds and then it dropped off. So I'm going to be changing that. I'm either going to have a conversation with her or I'm going to have a conversation with her boss. But guess what? I'm creating my reality around me of joy. Now, I could go to another gym. I really like this gym. The price point, what they offer, the conveniences, everything work for me. But you can see how very easily, if I go into a grocery store and I get that kind of response, I'm not going to come back. I've done that. I've left going to grocery stores and driven farther because of the energy of the scowling and the not happiness and the not kindness. And I don't want somebody to carry on like this false happiness. I really do want to walk into somewhere, connect with businesses that are genuinely happy, because that contributes to me, and I, in turn, contribute to that business financially and energetically. So would you be willing to create that with you? Would you be willing to create the happiness so that you can start to dance with your business and that the customers will come in? The customers will want to connect with you, will want to be with you. I'm loving the creation of this bodacious alchemy about saying bon voyage to 2017. I'm connecting with people that we've been in creation with before, and they're so excited to come and create with Rhonda and I, because that's the energy of who we are. We are laughter and joy and possibilities, and that's why they want to come back. Oh yeah, and the information we're going to be doing, that's good too. But that's the energy of what we are bringing. Well, such great English right now. Well, the energy of what we are bringing is what has them take one foot in first. So what if you would take one foot into your happiness, and that would start to create the change of the prosperity of your business? Are you willing to get vulnerable and real with you? Are you willing to go, well, that you were really being bitchy right there, Christine. Like, wow, what did that create? And check on your messages. Check on your emails. What's the energy you have in there? You seriously want to look at all the places and spaces so that your business can contribute to you. But it's as if the business can't hear you when you're being bitchy, when you're being miserable, when you're being sad. Your business needs a new set of earbuds because it cannot hear you. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to wrap this show up all about happy entrepreneur, prosperous business. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning in to Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices radio show with Possibilities coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm really loving this because my desire is truly to see happy entrepreneurs in the world and to see their businesses prosper. I know that there are so many phenomenal, creative people, individuals, businesses, ideas, possibilities that are waiting to expand, desiring to permeate into the world, to give other people more choice. I mean, it's so freaking amazing when we have so many more choices. It's so freaking amazing when there are new cool things that are being created. And, if you have an idea, if you have something coming to you, there is somebody looking for it in your world. There is absolutely somebody looking to buy that, to connect with you, to work with you. So what would it take for you to really step into your joy, really step into your happiness? And yeah, there was a comment in the chat room. I totally agree, Jody Ann. When people are being faking their joy, it feels like they're lying and you don't like it. Well, I'm going to throw down a challenge. If you're not happy, would you fake it for a little while until you actually turn it around? What if that could actually contribute? What if pretending you're happy, like if you ever tried to start laughing, my body just starts laughing as soon as I say it. But if you ever tried, like somebody's like, ha 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 ha, and you're like, that's not funny, and you actually start laughing, before you know it, you're busting the gut, right? You can change the energy just by doing that. So faking it sometimes can move you forward if your desire is to go in that direction. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So guys, I would really love to see and hear from you and what you're creating with your businesses and where actually choosing things first thing in the morning and throughout your day, choosing what makes you happy can really start to change and where it has changed your business. Another thing that I would love to tell you about is this fabulous creation that's making me so happy is we have a contest, and we're looking for amazing hosts to join our platform. And what we've done, we just ran a contest. It started December the 1st, and we were looking for people that wanted to bring their voice to the world, that they could win 3 months of a radio show. And we're well into the semifinals, which is so cool. There are 9 people who have moved forward into the semifinals, and we are, oh my God, these people are so phenomenal. I got a chance to connect with all of them last night, and we had a group training, and these people, they all happen to be women. We are not just a female network. We love bringing men on too. But these people happen to be all women, and these women are so dynamic. They are so incredible at what they're bringing to the world. And so starting tomorrow there's 2 open mics with 2 of the contestants. There's 2 on this Friday. Then there's going to be 3 next Wednesday and 2 the following Friday. I believe I've got that right. So if you go to the Inspired Choices Network and you check on future shows, you will see these 9 contestants and you'll read their bios. You will totally get what they're creating. It's absolutely fantastic. So you could also check over on the Inspired Choices Network Facebook page. In our events on that page, you'll see all of the creations there with all of these contestants. And oh my gosh, these people, it's so exciting. And I cannot wait to hear their voices on the airwaves and hear what they're contributing in the world, because they sure are happy. So that is just, it's so contagious. And how truly can it get any better than that? So my friends, coming up next week, I have got a phenomenal show with a very, very dear friend of mine. We are doing predictions for 2018 from a superior asshole. And that's my friend Melissa Jelinek. So
Thank
join
you
us
for
then.
choosing to
See you
listen
then.
to Inspired
Bye-bye.
Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.